I am definitely going to ruffle some feathers with this video, probably piss some of you off, especially if you're living this situation. But trust me, gentlemen, you're going to want to stick with me to the end of this one. Why? Because I just might save you some years of frustration, wasted time, wasted money, and a ton of heartache. This is coming from a guy who knows firsthand. Guys, when you walk into any room, you pretty much go anywhere these days on any sort of app, any social setting with women, in our age bracket. And I use that 35 to say 50, 55. And you're dealing with a population where a significant percentage, guys, a very significant percentage, dare I say even most, come with a child or children from a prior relationship. This is a statistical truth, guys. It's something that we cannot avoid. It's not a social statement, rather the simple reality of what we're dealing with, the reality of the situation. And guys, because many of these women are still very attractive, they're very interesting, they're financially independent, they don't seem like bad bets on the surface. These ladies are everywhere, right? They're available. And society is going to tell you that rejecting this demographic, single mothers, that makes you callous, immature, and commitment phobic. Or my favorite, you are a Peter Pan, and the man refusing to grow up. That the quote-unquote real men, they are the ones that date single mothers. And that men who don't do this, again, are sort of not real men. And the guys who step up, they're not just dads, they're dads who stepped up. They're not the stepdad. And any other sort of socially constructed trope or saying that makes this losing proposition, yes it is, guys, and we'll talk about that, seem like a golden ticket. Guys, I'm not talking out of my ass. I fell into this trap twice, guys. Not casual dating, but serious involvement. Years of my life. Significant resources, emotional investment. In both times, guys, both times, I ended up with the same damn realization. I made a fundamental error in judgment. And I'm quite clearly a slow learner. Look, guys, now I'm 52. I retired from my corporate life with my mind and body intact, somewhat and somehow. Guys, look, I've dated women, lots of them, many women. I know what I am talking about. Again, it's not theory or me talking out of my ass. I live this. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, guys. If you're a single man with no children, with your life together, you are a man with options. You should think very, very carefully, long and hard, before ever thinking about going down this road. All right, guys, I want to do this and sort of give you the reasons why. We're going to start with number one here, the cuckold dynamic. Let me be very, very direct about this language, guys, because using, euphemisms sort of obscures the truth. When you date a single mother seriously, you're stepping into a situation where another man has already claimed the primal territory. He was there first. Maybe they were there first. He had children with her. His genetics are literally in the picture. And now here you come along, putting your resources, your time, your money, your emotional labor, supporting children that carry his DNA, not yours. Okay? And I'm not trying to be crude here, guys. This isn't about that. This is biology dressed up in social politeness. You are functioning as a proxy of the original father. You are providing what he should be providing, or possibly what he's failing to provide, or maybe partially providing while you fill those gaps. And in many cases, guys, you're doing it without even the full status he had. In basically every situation, you're doing that. You're expected to step up, to support, to commit, but have no illusions. Maybe I should say delusions, guys. You are not the father. Like Maury Povich said, you are not the father. Well, you're kind of. You're a placeholder utility. Let's call you that. Financial support without the genetic legacy. Emotional investment without permanent security. Guys, this is the literal definition of a losing position. Okay? You're building something that will never truly be yours. Never. On land that'll never truly be yours. And again, with people who will never truly be yours. As I said, having gone through this twice, I watched myself slowly realize that I was subsidizing another man's legacy. While I put my own on pause, or hell, I threw it in the dumpster altogether. And the moment I started to understand that, guys, I couldn't unsee it. All right, guys, let's move on to number 2 here, the priority problem. All right, guys, let me be very clear and unambiguous about this. You are never, ever her first choice, period. There's no sugarcoating this, guys. And many of you won't like hearing this. I know I didn't. It sounds harsh. And it's not meant as an insult to her, the single mother. It is a structural fact. And guys, we know something about facts. They don't give a shit about your feelings. Look, guys, she had a first choice. And I'm here to break it to you. It wasn't you. It wasn't me. That man was first. Literally, those men were first. And they had children together. They attempted to build a life, at least in many cases. And whether this failed or not is sort of irrelevant. It's sort of a moot point. But the point is you are the sequel. This one's going to hurt, guys. You are plan B. I was plan B. You're what she settled for after the original vision didn't sort of pan out. And again, no matter what rationalizations, guys, we feed ourselves, justifications and excuses, this is the simple truth, okay? And a lot of times men, guys will think, oh, I am being selected. Well, in this case, you're being settled for. I say this sort of is a metaphorically, but she's tired. She has now become very practical and, dare I say, pragmatic. And again, I'm ready to get it. Now she is. She has responsibilities that actually force her to be very realistic now. And you come along with your resources, your stability, your sort of good on paper qualities. You're the practical, you are the pragmatic choice. Most times, guys, you are not the passionate choice, and you're definitely not the first choice. That stings. Trust me, I know. Again, because I lived it. I was that guy. I was this sort of nice, stable guy who looked good on paper. I was the responsible option. I promise you that. The guy who had his act together, who had my shit together. But I probably wasn't the wild, passionate guy. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I don't want to delude myself. But I never, there's typically never that I can't live without you energy that you probably had with the father or fathers of our children. I was the logical next step in a story, guys, that was being written by somebody else. As much as I tried to bullshit myself, guys, and I did, I fed myself a whole ration of shit that I was different, she was different, that it was a lie, guys. And down deep, and maybe even not deep, I freaking knew it, okay? And here's what that feels like over time. You feel secondary. You feel like an add-on, not the foundation in every decision, guys. And I mean every damn decision, from where you live, how you spend your money, how you spend your weekends, all your time. It's filtered through the reality of her previous life, her previous choices, her previous priorities. Look, you're not building a life together from scratch. It's already started. What is happening is you're being inserted to a life that already exists. And again, your needs will always be secondary. And guys, I dare say maybe third or fourth down the line to what is established before you arrived. All right, guys, on to reason number 3, and this one is going to hurt and sting as well. This is responsibility without authority. This is quite possibly the most insidious trap. So you are expected to step up. You're there to help, to support, and to be a quote-unquote role model to her children, to contribute financially. And yes, guys, no matter what she says, you are expected to contribute financially. You're expected to be present at events, dances, recitals, ball games. You're expected to care, which is very reasonable. To act like the father in every way that requires emotional labor and resources. But when it comes to authority, guys, when it comes to decision-making power, to having a final say, you have none, okay? And here's another one, guys, and you've learned this very, very quickly. You cannot discipline the children. That's not your place. You can't make major decisions about the children's upbringings. And 99 out of 100 times, you have no legal standing, nor will you ever have it. You can't insist on certain boundaries, guys, or standards, because it's not your family. Well, technically, your name isn't on their birth certificate, it never will be, and it isn't your DNA. So what you have is a perfectly asymmetrical relationship. You have all the obligations of fatherhood with none of the rights. You have all the costs, none of the credit. All the responsibility, none of the authority. And as I said in the last video, guys, responsibility without authority is nothing but slavery. And then when things go wrong, and guys, trust me, they will go wrong. When the children start to resent your presence, when they act out, they're going to remind you you're not their father. And you're just supposed to sit there and take it. Because why? Why? Well, because you chose this. You walked into their life. You don't get a vote. You don't get to complain. Oftentimes it is basically shut the fuck up and take me to practice. Garrett, Mike, Dave, rarely are they going to ever call you dad. Guys, I spent years in this position, paying for things, attending events, doing sort of the emotional heavy lifting and labor. I was acting as a responsible adult in the room and being reminded through words or actions that at the end of the day, I was ancillary. I was quite possibly temporary. I was replaceable, and I wasn't the real thing. Guys, that's not a partnership. That's servitude with a good public relations department. All right, guys, let's talk about hierarchy. Let me be specific of how the rankings work here. Well, first and foremost come her children, obviously, not you. Then her job, because she's an independent woman, because she has to support those children, right? Then maybe her ex, because you got the logistics of custody, child support, scheduling, and then probably her parents, maybe her friends, maybe the dog or cat, or identity and her mother. You fit in there somewhere, but it's well down the line. And again, where you are, you're somewhere after all that stuff, guys. You're the set of the also ran. You're the if time permits. You're the we'll see. Look, guys, I had plans canceled. I had to cancel last minute often. Work trips, shit that was going on in my life because a child was sick. I scheduled my life around custody schedules that I had zero control over. I waited for attention, guys, and energy that was always depleted by the time it reached me. Again, she is expected to be your first priority. Well, you aren't even her second or third in many cases. And here's the thing. It's not always her fault, okay? A lot of these ladies, single mothers, are doing their best, in general, in a difficult situation. She is trying to be the good mother, the responsible adult, but you, the man dating her, is signing up to be a sort of peripheral character in this story where everyone else is the main cast. Guys, you are not the star. You never will be. Frankly, you're not even a supporting actor. You're the guy that shows up, on the movie set the budget allows. Think of yourself, maybe, guys, as a gaffer or a key grip. If you know movies, that's about what you are. Guys, I am 52 years old. I retired early. I kept myself fit, and I built things in my life. The idea that I now would accept being shown, third, fourth, fifth, sixth on somebody's priority list is absolutely fucking absurd to me. It would be self-disrespecting, and it would be, it's crazy. And if you're a man, 25, 35, 45, even 55, the same logic applies to you, gentlemen. So, if you have your life together, if you are single, no kids, stable, you are making a grievous, dare I say fatal error if you accept this positioning in dating a single mother. All right, guys, on to reason number 5, the ex, or in many cases, the ex is. You cannot escape him or them. He's in the finances, guys. Child support coming in, maybe going out. Calculations have to be made on his income. He's in the scheduling, the everyday scheduling, the pickups, the drop-offs, the dreaded holidays. He's in the conversations, the stories, the references, the comparisons. He's in the stress. Oftentimes he's going to add to it. Arguments about boundaries, disagreements about parenting. And guys, here is a big one. If this gentleman is problematic, and yes, they can be. This dude or dudes are unstable. If they're irresponsible, difficult, God forbid they're violent, that chaos is going to become part of your life. Court dates, phone calls, drama, stress you didn't create, stress you can't control, and can't escape because you're dating his children's mother. So, let me give you some examples. I had an ex who would show up unannounced, whenever the hell he felt like it. Another one, and this goes both ways, guys, who use the children to manipulate situations, which often happens in divorce or splits. And the one guy who was basically completely absent, which created its own problems because, my girlfriend, his ex-wife, she was burdened and exhausted by carrying the load alone. And what happens then, that leaves precious little energy for us guys. So again, you need to be aware of this. Guys, there is no clean version here. There's no, whitewashed version of this. The X is a permanent feature in the landscape. You're dating a woman, but you're inheriting his sort of, residue, the baggage of her previous relationship or ships forever. And then at some point, guys, you need to ask yourself, and this is an absolutely critical question, why the fuck would I or anyone volunteer for this? All right, guys. Here's a hard truth. Here's some hard truths. If you're a man over 35, single, no children, and you have your life together, you are the rare commodity. You are a man with options. Not just in quantity, guys, but quality. There are women out there without children. There are women out there who made different choices. There are younger women. There are women who are just starting out fresh. They're unencumbered and they're available to building something with you, right? Not just inserting you into something that's already pre-built. Guys, you are the prize. And I created a video, this one here. Watch that one and you'll take a deeper dive in it. But I need you to start acting like it. This isn't so much about rejecting her as you are choosing you. And this is where many people, especially women and single mothers, they get it twisted and they begin to use shaming tactics. Do not fall for these guys. I wasted years learning this the hard way. I thought I was being sort of noble or sort of, above the fray. Thought I was being sort of mature, right? I thought, all right, she's great. The situation's a bit complicated, but, love conquers all, or we can work it out. We can figure it out. That's sentimentality, guys. That's wishful thinking. That is Pollyanna. It is most definitely not logic. What does logic say? Don't enter agreements with structural disadvantages. Don't sign up to be secondary. Don't accept the cuckold position, the second choice role. The responsibility with zero authority. You want a partner who ranks you first, as you would do for her. Or at least tied for first, guys, right? With a shared future that you're building together. Not a woman who ranks you after her children, her job, her stress, her past, her ex, her pet, etc. I think you get my point. All right, guys, let's try and bring this all together. As I often say, let's try and put a bow on this. And let me be clear. Let me be absolutely clear so no one can misrepresent what I'm saying. Single mothers are not bad people, okay? Many of them are doing the best they can in many instances, under very difficult circumstances. Many of these are wonderful women who just sort of got dealt bad hands or made, understandable but tough choices. This is not a moral judgment on them, not at all. What this is a strategic assessment for the man with options. So, if you're a single man with no children, you have resources, you have stability, and you have time, you have the ability to choose your situation. And when you choose the single mother path, guys, despite that sort of surface level attractiveness to the woman, she's hot, is choosing a situation with at least 5 structural disadvantages to you that will, trust me, over time, erode your well-being, your resources, your mental state, and some guys, even your dignity as a man. I'm telling you, in no uncertain terms, guys, do not do it. I did it twice. I regret both times. And not because the women were bad. Not for the reason that you might think. They weren't. But because the situation was bad, guys. Because I ignored the math that was right in front of me. It was like a communist parade of red flags, and I just went right through it. Because I thought with my heart, maybe a little bit with my dick, when I should have thought with my head, my big head. Don't make my mistake, guys. Know your worth. Know what you're walking into and choose accordingly. All right, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I know this is sort of a controversial video, Some of you guys might be in this situation. Drop me the comments. Let me know where you come in on this. I want to know. Guys, again, appreciate every one of you. We're growing fast. You know, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Like, comment, push this on the guys that can use this, especially this video. Guys, appreciate you. Last thing, as always, live deliberately.